Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to share with you some tips and some ideas that I'm seeing with respect to the Modern League. There's the new rank changes now. It's no longer limited to the cards you can play are no longer limited to your league level. And so it's creating new opportunities that are really interesting and allowing maybe you to climb faster than you might have in previous seasons. What I've seen with this new opportunity, I'm being drawn into Modern and I'm being thoughtfully finding new solutions to victory. And there's this one play with respect to Dragon Arcane that I'm really down with, and I want to share with you two examples of how I'm using it now. And we'll look at some data from Splintercoach as well to back it up. Hey guys, let's get into it. My name is Dwayne Cunningham. I go by Infidel1258. You can just call me 12. I cover Splinterlands on the channel because it's changed my life and I think it could change yours. If that sounds interesting, stick around, stay tuned, like, subscribe, get into it. I'm going to show you two battles, both involving Arcane and both involving one particular soulbound monster that I really love, but I've often struggled to find a niche for because it is, well, you'll see it has some glaring limitations. But with the Arcane and the ambush, suddenly maybe I found where I want to fit it. And I wouldn't have explored this possibility if it wasn't for moving into Modern. Now in Wild, I can, anything goes. I can play the same cards, but because I play in Wild for years, I've gotten used to certain rhythms and I play the same sort of cards. And maybe I don't necessarily try things like this, but I can and I might, and it has been working in Modern. So let's look at it. I'm going to show you two different angles of the same sort of play. And I want to also look at some data from Splintercoach. But before we do any of that, let's open these 16 champ chests over here. Are those diamond chests? Yes, I guess they would be diamond chests. Reveal all. SPS. Oh, gold foils, come on now. Okay, I'm maxed out on my Phyrexia hero, but I still appreciate that. And 26 down here, love it. Cool. Okay, so we have two battles we're going to share with you, and then we're going to look at some data to see if this is maybe, I mean, it's early to tell because I only really recently discovered this, but let's see the battles. So right here we got myself versus Moose Yai, I'm going to say. And as I show you this, as you look at this screen, I wonder if you already see what I was thinking. We've got this glass cannon up front, the possessed puppet. 4 melee attack, double strike, with an inspire down here, with a protect, by the way, from the Raven Warden, which is going to inspire my possessed puppet, plus give a little bit of resiliency against these thorns. Now, I have a cane, so I have 2 ambushes. I go into this play thinking this would be probably an amazing ambush. And then I ambush that with Arachne and I probably delete the tank. But I also come to it prepared. If that's not going to work, I want to have a backup option for my ambush. So I've got a sneak attack play that's also going to be pretty nasty. Double strike and silent shabby for the big 4. But remember, we have an inspire over here. So there's cohesion. That's one thing I think I've done well. But there's multiple ways to take advantage of my summoner. If this isn't going to work, the front line's not going to work, the back line might. But in this play, we end up applying the ambush to the front with the possessed puppet, because after looking at all of the abilities pre-game with those 45 seconds you get in order to assign my ambush or my lookout, I went ahead and decided, okay, look, he doesn't have any amplify. If he had amplify, he might have killed me faster. If he had weaken, he might have killed me faster. If he had rust, he might have killed me, right? Because the thorns damage from the Cursed Windiku would kill the possessed puppet that quickly if some of those synergies existed, but they don't. So I know I can run through them. So I'm just going to go ambush, and watch what happens. Nice and quick. Look at this 5 bomb, 10 damage first turn. Now, of course, he eats the first bite with his armor, but we still just rip through it. And with the Arachne Thug on trample, we did 20 damage on the first turn. 20, no, before the first turn. And it's over. I mean, the bread and butter here is the possessed puppet being an absolute nuclear response. Like it just eats what's in front of it. But it's going to be scenario specific. If I know my opponent, if it's melee, if it's magic only, archery only. Of course, we can't do it, but if it can slip in there and be maybe a bit of a surprise, I wouldn't want to do this too often because you could run into some real easy counters. To me, this reminds me of the old Exploding Dwarf. This is a card that I used to play quite a bit when I would let's see, there he is right there, the Exploding Dwarf. This card, 1 hit point at every level. Look at this melee damage: 6, trample, retaliate, piercing, blast. Huge damage output, but yet particularly vulnerable. In some context, this card really slaps, and you can get away with it, but you need to know those moments. I think what I'm showing you today with the Possessed Puppet is that same situation. Now we've got one more here. Here it is here. So again, out the gate, give myself options. Now, I actually, while we load up the rule sets, there's knockout. So I did want to bring stun. I have my red worm gold dragon. This is fast becoming one of my most prized items. The max level red worm dragon gold foil. First of all, great card. Second of all, gold foil. Those cost me about 25 bucks each. Now they're like 40 or 50 or something per BCX. But I brought that for the stun. I thought to myself, this is the front end play. We got a stun over here. Theoretically, if I was concerned about not being able to roll through his first line, I would want to use the stun in conjunction with the heavy hitters. I did consider applying my ambush over here, but we just didn't need it. Again, with the 45 seconds allotted to decide where my arcane ambushes slip, and I decide between Possessed Puppet, Shadow Stitch as option number 1. That's the first plan. If I think I can kill this, and you have to make that call pretty quick. You have to do all the calculations in your head. Are there weakens? Are there protects? Are there, right? All those abilities and synergies might change things and might actually make you not delete the thing in question. And if you don't kill it, is your opponent going to heal it, restore it? Is there something that's going to go wrong if you don't finish it? So I did the math, and of course I could finish it, but you see back here, I had an alternative line. And even this is like let's say an option 2.5. So Possessed Puppet with Shadow is first choice if I think it's going to work. If it's not, we're going to go sneak. I did consider sneak, but this is why he's going to win if he wins, so we have to run through it. So we give that a go with the ambush, and let's see what happens. And there's no Inspire on this round, but man, the Inspire play seems like the obvious, because like I showed you in the first clip, not only does that Raven Hood give Inspire, it also gives Protect, which gives your Possessed Puppet that much more resiliency. So I am having fun with this play. I really, like I said with the Exploding Dwarf, I really enjoy sort of these glass cannons. And yeah, it goes down, but I mean, it did its thing. It ate that Grund, like just deleted it. There was no Grund. Turn 0, no Grund. That's a 10 or 11 mana monster, and I just destroyed it before turn 1. Ambush is very powerful. Possessed Puppet is very powerful within a certain context. And let's go ahead and look at the Splintercoach stats around this, guys. If you don't know Splintercoach, it's a website that will track your personalized battle history within Splinterlands, and I'm using it here today in order to pull up my Possessed Puppet data. You can see that we went 9 and 8 with this thing over my lifetime with it, which definitely means I barely play it. And 2 of those battles were today. So I mean, this is a niche, but I want to add that I haven't really thought about how I could implement this, and I definitely am going to start rolling with what I just showed you. I'm not saying it's going to be one every 10 matches. Probably it's one in every 20 matches, meaning once a day maybe, because I like it. It's cheeky. This thing hits like a truck, and you kind of gotta, it's almost like a curveball or a slider. Like you throw these pitches when your opponent isn't going to expect it. They're looking for a fastball, they're looking for a change up, and you go ahead and you mix it up with a slider, and suddenly you get the strikeout. And that's what I'm feeling with the Possessed Puppet. I think it's a interesting card. I think it's a fun card, and I thought you'd enjoy this, guys. I hope you did. Let me know in the comments below. Have an amazing day. God bless.